Okay, so this is going to be an interesting episode. So for those of you who have just tuned in for the first time, or just got linked to this randomly, or did not see the comments on the last episode, the story revolving around this romhack got really interesting. So let me just do a quick recap of everything that's gone on. So last week, I got an email from someone named Digital Cross Gamer who told me about a guy named Yanama on the Super Mario World Central forums. Now, Yanama had posted on the forums that he was dying of leukemia. He had been battling with it for the past year of his life, and chemo wasn't helping, so he had about a week to 2 weeks to live, is what he stated. So, as a half joke, he wrote in and kind of crossed out. I was like, I kind of wish. My one regret, I'll quote this verbatim. My one regret is that Notte Luminosa never got Let's Played by someone worth a damn. Read anyone. So, someone get on that, or not. I'll get to see it anyways. So, half joking. But Digital Gamer went out of his way to contact me about it because he thought it would be a good thing. He's a good Samaritan, and he definitely is. So, I went ahead and started the LP last week, which many of you might be aware of. And Raocow also started, and a number of other people jumped in, including He is an Evil Genius, who's over on Blistered Thumbs. You might remember him from TKO. Him and Despari ended up playing through it a bunch. But it came out Thursday that apparently it was a lie. SNN, so a pretty prominent Mario romhack guy. He used to be the admin over at the SNW Central Forums. Now I think he retired from that because he's got college, from what I've been hearing. He found out he was completely lying. Apparently, first off, this is not the first time he's pulled a stunt like this, just not to this level. He always tried to do attention-grabbing things with Notte Luminosa, but none of us knew that because we didn't frequent the forums. But at one point, he actually logged out of his account, Yanama. He logged out to kind of make it seem like he was dying or he was in like his last throes, so everyone kind of went into panic. But since SNN has access to friends who are mods, they were able to find that his IP has been watching the thread for the past 2 days. On top of that, he has his actual Facebook. So now, apparently Yanama has 2 Facebook accounts, one for his internet persona and one for his actual Facebook account. While the one for his internet persona has not been updated for a while, his actual Facebook account has been updated as recent as yesterday. Yesterday as of the case of this, so it would have been Wednesday. Talking about getting a new job and adding a bunch of new friends to Facebook. Also has a fairly recent picture taken of him where he looks completely healthy. And talking about how he just started college this year. So yes, Yanama is actually an 18 or 19-year-old person who has lied about leukemia. Now, some of this, I can understand some of this being considered circumstantial. Like, the picture could have been taken an old picture. Someone else could be updating his Facebook account, which I don't believe that one personally, but... It also doesn't help that the version of leukemia he stated he had is one of the types of leukemias that pretty much makes you bedridden for about a month or 2 before you pass away. It's not one of those you can have the energy to read the internet. It's if you type something out, it's a kind of a miracle type deals. So, needless to say, it looks decently like he completely lied to everyone. A lot of people are understandably pissed off about this, and I don't blame them. As someone who's had his family kind of had to deal with cancer and leukemia especially, I was not impressed to find out that this was false. I'm not going to say I was surprised though, because unfortunately, right from the start I kind of knew it could happen. I even partially talk about it in the first episode. I say there's still a small chance that someone could have lied about it, even though I'm stating it's about other people are stating that. So I'm not really surprised, unfortunately. I'm just really, really disappointed. It's not a thing that you can take lightly. Cancer is not one of those things that you should be joking about like that. Especially something that affects so many people. Like, I have gotten an outpouring of messages from people who have talked about how their lives have been changed because of cancer. Either because it's ruined their lives and they're currently going through treatment for it, or they've lost family members from it, or they know people who are currently treated, like a whole gambit of people have come out and were positive about the whole thing that we were doing. And then, of course, this got out. Now everyone's out for blood, essentially. So here's the thing. A lot of people were asking me, should I stop the Let's Play or not? I'm not stopping the Let's Play, obviously, as you can see based on the footage in the background. We're actually just going to finish it this episode. We were close enough that I would have ended it this episode anyways. It's just now that I'm going ahead and doing it post-commentating, obviously, so I'm playing the game separately and speeding through it as fast as I can. Now I just want to say a couple things about Yanama. Do I agree with what he did? Fuck no. That was a pretty asshole-ish thing to do. Do I think it's the worst thing since Hitler? No. What he did didn't physically hurt anyone. What he did was a dumbish, trollish thing. Do I think we should be going out of our way to find his address? Which some people have actually given me his address and phone number. Other people have asked me to sue him. No. I'm not gonna do any of that either. That's a bit extreme. What you guys do and what you choose to do is your call, but personally, I think A, he understands how dickish it was now that everyone's gone so negatively against him, but I'm assuming he did it because he was kind of done with that persona. He clearly doesn't want to be Yanama anymore, and he doesn't want to be in the romhack community, if that was his plan. Like, it didn't seem like his plan actually had an end to it at all. Because either he died, or his persona died, and just we went on with our lives, or he stayed alive and would just... Yeah, no, there really wasn't any... He didn't gain anything out of this. He got some people to play his game, and then he would have had to have actually admitted that he lied. Now, he has not come out and said anything about it. He's actually been banned from the Super Mario World Central forums, understandably. And he's not made any posts on his Facebook about it, but then again, I think he's also smart not to add anyone who's probably sending him hate on his Facebook currently. I just want to say that I disagree with what you did, but unintentionally, you actually brought a lot of good out. This does not excuse what you did at all. Not by any means. But thankfully, we were able to have some good things happen. When I mentioned in the first episode about donating to cancer research or listing off a bunch of different sites, a number of people actually came out and said, yes, we've done this in the past, or we have done this now because you mentioned it. Do I think that us saying that, Rauko and myself, saying donate to cancer research or anything like that, actually led to you people donating? Not really, no, we're not that vain. But if you were going to donate in the first place, you would have done it, or you have already done it, and just having one extra reason to do it, like someone bringing up a story like this, led to you doing it again, so some good did come out of it. That, for all we know, Yanama's stupid stunt might have actually saved someone else's life. And yes, I am happy to find out that there is someone in the world who is not dying of leukemia. It sucks that he had to pull a bullshit stunt like this, which I don't think I've stated enough, but one less sob story, really, that we need to worry about. So really, I guess all I really need to say at the end of this is just to urge you guys to do the good thing here and just, like, focus on helping other people who are actually dealing with the disease. Don't freak out about Yanama being a total douchebag because, yeah, in general, it was a pretty douchebag stunt. I wonder how many different ways I can say that, really, because I've gone through like 4 at this point. But try to actually help people who deserve it. Try to donate to cancer charities. Just, if you can't donate time, donate money. Just do a good thing in general. Do a good thing to outset his bad thing. You never know, you might actually make a difference. Going back to the actual hack itself now, though. I guess I don't need to pull any punches anymore when I talk about it, which in a way is kind of liberating. The ROM hack itself, I will admit, I have been having fun with it. I did really enjoy playing the spaceship stage, Galaxian Adventure. That was actually really fun, but that's mainly because I really enjoy shooters like that. I'm a big fan of the Gradius series. This game definitely has issues. I will state that right now. I've pussyfooted around it during the actual LP, but I think those of you who know anything about level design will know for sure. Let's take, for example, what happened in this episode. There was a door maze that happened at one point, where the correct answer was just to go left all the time. That was actually also the fastest way through the maze as far as I know of, so that's not a well-designed maze. I'm gonna give you that there. Also not being able to know if you're powered up or not, for the most part. Also not very good. You know what? I could sit here and come up with a million different reasons why I dislike this. But I feel like at the same time it would also be kind of tainted from what he did. A lot of people have been saying, try to separate the game from the person. And I understand that mentality. However, you do have to also keep in mind, the person also pulled that stunt to get people to play his game in the first place. He literally thought that his game did not stand on its own by itself, that he had to fake dying to garner interest in it. Now, whether the actual reason people weren't paying attention to Notte Luminosa was because either there was just too many ROM hacks to deal with, people didn't like him in general, because I'm getting that feeling from some of the posts I read after Super Mario World Central figured out he was lying. Many different things like that. The fact of the matter is, though, he made this game years before he pulled this stupid-ass stunt. It's an okay game. I know for a fact that there are better ROM hacks out there. I'm not going to say this is the be-all, end-all of ROM hacks. If you thought I was going to say that, even when I thought he was still sick, I wasn't going to say that. I just would have sugar-coated it a bit better. That's making me sound like a total asshole now, isn't it? Oh well. I don't know what that really says about me as a person, that I would hold back critique like that to a sick person, but I felt like it was the right thing to do. But yeah, no, there's so many things that are off about the game in general. And this is me talking without being like super upset at Yanama for what he did. Take, for example, the final boss fight here. First off, the hitbox is kind of off, if you couldn't tell from that. The other thing is, you're going to see me save scumming a lot during this fight, simply because it just gets ridiculous to play. Ignoring the fact that you randomly go through the enemy, he just starts shooting a crazy amount of projectiles. Before I started the LP, a number of people warned me in reviews or just in private message, the final boss is flat out ridiculous. And having actually played against him, I fully agree. Now, I also felt the same way about the boss, the Thwomp boss a couple videos back. Now, people informed me that was a different person who made that boss, and apparently it's fairly common. I still don't agree that was a good boss fight. I don't know if it's because maybe he upped the speed of the boss, which based on people's comments, I believe that's not the case. It just didn't seem well designed. Like, had the speed of the final form been down a little bit, I think it would have been better. Or maybe if the room was bigger. There's just so many things about that fight that felt wrong, and same here. Like, now the boss can force you on the ground. As soon as you hit him, he will start spitting out projectiles like crazy. And you also just got a ton of story glut, basically. Like, he did a text dump, essentially, right before this fight, talking about, like, this character we didn't even know about, the Star Princess, or the Star Queen. I feel like the thing with Notte that's been bugging me the most that I haven't been saying is that it doesn't feel cohesive. The stages are fun. Some of them are really badly balanced, like that one ice stage where we had to do the weird jump. A weird obsession with mazes that aren't really mazes, or if they are a maze, they're pretty simple to get around. And I don't know. I like, even with the hitbox thing, like not being able to tell if I'm powered up or not, I have seen ROM hacks where they just have a health meter on the HUD. So that, you should have just done that. And from what I'm told, that's not that hard to pull off. Like, look on the screen right now. See how it says Val ×2? That's how many hits I have left to clock on the boss here. If you were able to put a hit counter up there for the boss, how come you couldn't put a hit counter up there for yourself? I don't know. I feel like Notte was going in some right places, but it didn't quite finish getting there. It's like a game that required a bit more playtesting or just a bit more focus in general. Now, having said all that, I still did have fun with it. So, I mean, that's one thing right there. I just think it's not... A couple of the comments were like, this game's amazing. I'm like, it's good. But there are better out there, namely at Super Mario World Central. I don't know. I'm upset at him. I don't want you guys to be just trying to beat the shit out of him. I don't want you to go find his number or anything and just hassle him. That's not the right way to treat this. You have to be above it. In a way, you have to be the bigger man here. And I know it sucks. But I think at this point, it's the right thing to do. Now, having said that, I'm also not going to be deleting the videos. I know a couple people requested that. Mainly because it has brought a couple things into focus, like doing good things for cancer research. Like, a number of people have donated because of this. And at the same time, if we whitewash all the videos, if we just get rid of them, then that gets rid of the proof of what he did. So at the same time, while it might be a bad thing showing what he did, leaving it up also shows people will remember this. If I deleted the videos now, however many people saw these videos would know what happened, and that's about it. Then we'd eventually forget. Anyone who comes back and watches this now will remember that, yeah, some guy pulled a douchebag move, but at the same time, some people actually went out of their way to donate to cancer charities, and that's a good thing. I don't know. This has been a whole preachy episode. This whole, man, this whole thing's been kind of ridiculous in general. I don't know what to say. But right now, that's the ending of Notte Luminosa. I'm sorry it turned so sour as it did at the end, guys, but thanks for sticking around. Thanks for being overall positive until the shit hit the fan, and just keep being yourselves, guys. One last thing. A number of people asked in the comments whether I'd just do another game for charity or would do a live stream for charity. Might end up doing the live stream thing. I'm going to ask a bunch of people, see how their free time is, and maybe we'll work something out. I'll post about it once we have more details. Take it easy, guys.